Can you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a few guests that will be announced by our Vice President here, John, who will be coming up here. These are people who will not be speaking. They're just here. Thank you for coming. Special guests.
Good morning, everyone. We have a few guests today and ask that you hold your applause to the end. The first one is Tony Keeler from Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. Bo Carson, the Supervisor of Elections. Ed Soul, Assistant to Mayor Sachs. Lieutenant Wink from PBSO. Holly Zimmerman from Palm Beach County, Dorothy Jack, Property Appraiser. Leslie Schreiber from PBSO. Sherry McCorkle from South Florida Water Management. Craig Williams from the State's Attorney's Office. Chris King from PBSO. And Captain Sand from PBSO. Please give these people a round of applause.
And one special guest who actually didn't sign her name, that's Liz Carantes from Channel 12 News. If she's here, wave please. There she is in the back. Great to see you. She happens to be married to one of the state attorneys, Craig Williams. So that's why she's here today. Plus also she heard about this fantastic program. Two things are going to happen before the sheriff comes up here. We're going to first have Chief Bill Stansberry come up to give a report from our fire rescue. And then, of course, we need to give a brief commercial from our Bright Star, who is actually sponsoring. Please come up.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bill Stansberry with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. I am the District Chief of Battalion 4, which is the Delray Boynton area. Just give you a quick update on the area. We opened up a new station on Flavor Picton Lyons last month, Station 49. That was our 9th station in Battalion 4. And then sometime this month, we're going to be opening up another station on La Chalet Military. That'll actually be in the Battalion 3, but that'll provide an extra rescue to help out with the area. The busiest station for the month of January was Station 45 on Linton and Jog. There were 650 calls from that station, so they average about 20 calls a day. Battalion 4, which is the Delray Boynton stations, for the month of January we had 3,510 calls. So busy month. We've got lots of snowbirds, so generally December, January, February are a little bit busier. And overall, for the month of January, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue ran 13,782 calls. So we're building more stations, improving our response times, and helping out. And the police have a great demonstration for today, so I'm going to turn it over and allow them to get going.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. One other thing, you know, dues are due, and to get this great newsletter printed and all, and get everything that's really good to all of you, we do need the dues, so please go back to your associations, make sure that your president, your managers received that. Can we please have Bright Star Care, Amy and Daniel, up here to tell us a little something, or sponsor the breakfast. Thank you so much. And one other thing, next month is going to be super, super cool too. Another one, it's going to be at the Murakami. We're not going to be here because of elections, and they're going to have this place filled with machines. So we're going to be at the Murakami, and all of our delegates, presidents, alternates, you will be able to visit the garden and museum afterwards, complimentary from the, yes, it's an awesome thing. Next month is going to be really great, but you're going to have to be at the Murakami.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here. My name is Amy Daniel, and I am the owner of Bright Star Care Delray Beach. We are a private duty home care company located right on Atlantic, close to Military Trail. We provide assistance with activities of daily living, bathing, dressing, all that fun stuff. We also provide skilled care, infusion therapy, medication management. We are providers of veterans cares. If there's any veterans in the house, we thank you for your service, obviously, and foremost. I want to also say that we specialize in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's care. I am the co-executive chair for the Boca Walk to End Alzheimer's this year, and we are so close to finding a cure. So close to finding a cure, or should I say we're so close to finding treatment. So we need to keep fundraising so all that money goes towards clinical trials and help for care for people with Alzheimer's. So if anybody has any questions and wants to learn some more information about how you can get involved, just come back to our table in the back, and we thank you for allowing us to be here today, especially with all the pups.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for sponsoring this, and this really is a special day. Thank you to all of these, the first responders and the sheriff's people here with the bomb squad showing us such interesting equipment, the dogs, the horses, just really fantastic. Now we are going to hear from our sheriff, because this is, he's got to get back to work, of course. He protects us. This is a really big, huge job, and of course we've known him for many years, and he is the best. Come and meet the sheriff.
Thank you. Morning, folks. I told her, I said, don't do a big, long introduction. After 19 years of being your sheriff, if you don't know me by now, you've been on another planet, that's for sure. I'm going to, well, first of all, I want to thank all the men and women here from the Sheriff's Office putting on a good display out there. The folks, these guys and women, they are absolutely fantastic. We are fortunate to have a group of people like that dedicate their life every day to making sure you're safe. So, thank you guys. I'm going to take about an hour's worth of information, which I know you don't want me to talk for an hour, and condense it into about 10 minutes. Because we're, yes, you bet. To say we're busy is an understatement. We did 1.2 million calls for service last year. That is incredible. So the things that I'm going to talk about are things that we call like the tip of the spear, the most high profile things. So don't think that everything else that we're doing is not important. It is. It's just these things happen to be right up at the front of what's going on. Unfortunately, some months back, anti-Semitism kind of sneaked into our county. It started with some people throwing literature into yards, handing out really vile literature or forcing it on people, and we were able to get a handle on that real quick. The fortunate side for us here is I'm still the chairman of Homeland Security for all of South Florida. We're the lead agency, which gives us the opportunity to have real-time intelligence information on anything that's going on in the world, and particularly anything that may happen here in the county. So we determined who these people were real quick. They're out of California. They live up in Port St. Lucie. And we made it very clear to them, you come here and you try that here, you're going to jail. It's just that simple. We're not going to tolerate it. We're going to draw the line in the sand and say, don't cross it. And we haven't seen them back here since then. They've been in Orlando, they've been in Vero Beach, but they haven't come back here. But unfortunately, in recent times, what happened is you got this war that's going on in the Middle East. About an hour after that conflict started, I got a phone call that says, here's what's going on, and I told our people, you need to increase your footprint and visibility at religious institutions throughout this county, and in particular the Jewish institutions, so we don't have some people that try to copycat what's going on somewhere else and let it happen here. And that's what we've done. And then right till today, we still have a huge footprint and presence because we want people to feel safe about going to whatever religious institution you want to go to and feel safe about it. Because that's what terrorists try to do. They try to make you afraid to do what your normal life is, and we're not going to let that happen. We've had a lot of demonstrations. We've been able to keep those peaceful. We don't let them mix together like you do in other cities, and they get fights, and they still get their message out, but we keep it safe. And we don't let them block the streets. That's one thing I'm not going to tolerate, is people, regardless of what they're demonstrating, is get out there and block the streets so you can't go where you need to go. They have the right to do what they do, but you have the right to be able to go home, go to the store, go to the hospital, wherever you need to go. That's your right. We're not going to let them block the streets. So I want to reassure you, we're still on that issue, and we're going to stay on it until things get resolved so people can feel safe going to worship. The second thing, well, it's the right thing to do, folks. The second thing is immigration and border. And I'm going to be nice when I say this, but these idiots in Washington have created such a problem. No, I mean, it is. You just say to yourself, what are they thinking? But don't think for a minute what's going on in Texas and Mexico doesn't affect us here. Guarantee you it does. We arrested some people in a narcotics case about a month ago. One of the people we arrested was out of one of the most dangerous cartels in Mexico, Sinaloa. He's here. We just got intelligence information that one of the worst gangs from Venezuela is now taking up business in Miami. So you can count on one thing, they'll be back and forth between Miami and here. Because the bad guys, they don't know what city or county they're in. They just go where the business is at. So we're keeping an eye on them. But our border is 6 or 7 miles to the east. It's the ocean. And we patrol that border relentlessly. Because we're not going to let them, they try to come in on the boats, we're not going to let them put 1 foot on land here. Once in a while, very, very infrequently, a boat will sneak through, but even when it gets here, we get them fast. We get the helicopter up, we get the dogs out there, we get people out there, so we get them quick, but 99% of the time, we get them out there on the ocean. Because then we give them back to the Coast Guard or the Navy, and they got to take them back where they came from. I don't care what Border Patrol does. And look, I get it. You know, the people that are coming across, they want a better life, I get it. But they shouldn't infringe upon the people that live and take benefits away from people that need it. These NGOs, the non-governmental organizations, are maxed out. But they should be taking care of our veterans that live on the street, or homeless people. They live here. That should come first. But folks, here's what scares me more than anything else. It's the people they call the gotaways. Those are the people that don't come across and go like this, you got me. Because they're gang members, they're cartel members, they're wanted, they're criminals. They're bringing fentanyl across, which is killing our people. 1.5 million of them. Gotaways that we have no idea where they're at or who they are. And here's something that is really heartbreaking. 85,000 kids unaccounted for. The human trafficking people love that because that's a group of people they're going to prey on. 85,000 of them. The whole thing, it's a mess, it's a nightmare. And I tell people all the time, it's an easy fix. It really, really is. Think about it like this. Let's say you got a sink that is leaking up in the second floor of your house. Water's dripping all over the place. You don't get a bucket and start trying to mop up stuff while it's still leaking. You go up and stop the leak. and then you mop it up. That's what's got to happen there. They got to stop the flow and then clean up what we got. Because if we don't, we're going to be in for a problem. But I want to tell you this. We're monitoring it. We're diligent about making sure that they don't sneak in here. And we're prepared for any eventuality in regards to immigration. Promise you, without a doubt. The last thing I want to talk about is something that really touches everything that we do. And that's mental health. Stop to think about it. Family problems, family disturbances, family violence, addiction, whether it's drugs or alcohol. That's mental health problems. Not to mention the people that have violent tendencies, that do bad things, mass shootings, violence, homelessness. These are mental health issues. If you remember right, about 10 years ago, I started my own mental health unit. Started small. Today, it's grown from 1 team to 10. And I say a team, it's a deputy and a mental health professional that we hire, a clinician. And that's important. And it's grown to the fact we've been able to split it, say, a certain number are for targeted violence. In other words, we identify people that are a danger to themselves or the public, and if they have guns, we'll take them away so they can't use them against you. That's the red flag law. The other part of the division pays attention to addiction, mental health issues in the community, family problems, because we have to address those. For me to be the biggest mental health provider in the county, in the jail, is wrong. That's wrong. There's some people in there that are first-time offenders that did things because they're off their medication. And we treat about 400 a day up in the jail for mental health issues. But guess what? The state of Florida is like 47th out of 50 for funding mental health. You can't find facilities. We Baker Act somebody, which means we can put them in a mental health facility, supposedly for 72 hours. 48 hours later, they're out because they need the bed. And we got to go deal with them again. We got to start paying attention to mental health. It touches everything. People got to wake up. And if we don't, it's just going to get worse. I can tell you right now, this unit of mine, I know has prevented at least 2 school shootings. They've talked people out of houses. You know, we get calls, family disturbance, the husband's got a gun, he's going to kill the wife and the kids. We really don't want to rush that house unless we have to, because something bad's going to happen. My mental health team will go there, and more times than not, can resolve and talk them out. Because the idea is to get them help. But we can't get people to give them the help they need unless we know about it. You know, I can't do something about something I don't know about. That's why it's important when we get our message out to people. If you know something, say something. Don't be afraid that if you say something, it's going to be an arrest. We get to these people ahead of time, we get them the help they need. And people know. How many times after these shootings does somebody go, well, I knew that was going to happen? Who'd you tell? That thing up in Maine should have never happened. That guy was in the mental health system twice. Yet nobody did anything about the fact that he's going out and buying all these guns. It's wrong. I'm a big Second Amendment guy. I think people ought to be able to protect themselves. But when it comes to people that are mentally unbalanced and dangerous, they got no business having a gun because they're going to use it against you. And that's why we go after those type of people that we've identified are dangerous. Now there's 2 other programs that we've started in our mental health adventure in the last 8 or 9 months. One of them you're seeing right over here, therapy dogs. This is another thing. When it got started, People told me, that ain't gonna work, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. Let me tell you folks, these therapy dogs have been fantastic. When we go to a scene where it's horrific and there's young kids there, or even sometimes adults that are having a real problem dealing with what's going on, we take the therapy dog there, their attention goes right from that problem right over to the dog, especially the kids. And they start playing with the dogs. And it diverts them away from the horrific thing that's taking place. The judges are starting to use them at the courthouse for witnesses that are really, frightened about going up to testify. The dogs calm them down. It's been a great program, and guess what? It doesn't cost me any money. I get the dogs free from Big Dog Ranch. And the training it's not extensive, but they provide that too. And the deputies, they're already in place. They're our community officers. So two good things happen. One, Big Dog Ranch gets to take a dog that needs a home, and now he's got one. And we use them for the good in the community. And we're going to keep expanding that program. I think we got 10 now. I'm going to make sure every community officer's got them. It's that good. The second program is our veterans and our first responders that have PTSD. Again, we partner with Big Dog Ranch. And they gave us the dog for free. And they train the dog to recognize the signs of somebody that's going through a PTSD episode. And that dog will recognize that and put his paws up on the person, take him by the arm, bark at him or something, to bring him out of the episode. It's incredible. One of these meetings, we're going to bring those dogs here and give you a quick demonstration. You will be amazed at what those dogs can do. So those are two brand new programs. Again, that didn't cost me any money either. We do the same thing. We get the dogs free, and to get the training free, we just give them to our people. And it's turned out to be fantastic. So those are the major things that we're really paying a lot of attention to, because it's an everyday deal. But if you don't leave here with anything else, I want you to leave here with a feeling of being safe. Because that's our goal every single day that we wake up. I know these people over here, that's their goal, because, look, other than the military, there's no other profession that when these people leave their house and kiss their family goodbye, that might be the last time. Just like this trooper that just got killed, a young kid. That's what they give to the community. They give their lives for you. So I want you to know, number one, they're on the job every day. Number two, I'm honored to be your sheriff. I hope to be your sheriff for a long time. But my goal is to make sure your life and your community is as safe as it can be. Thank you for having us here today.
Thank you so much, really. Let's stand up and give them a standing ovation. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Well, as you can tell, we are actually ending this meeting at the time that we actually start the meeting. It's 10 to 10. We've heard from our sheriff, but there's still, I'm sure there's the exhibits outside. And it was just jam-packed though. And you came here for information, and you got information today. What was in the newsletter was actually that we are supposed to have elections today. But nobody had contacted me for actually wanting to be on the board. There are 2 open positions. If you've got computer skills and you know Excel and you know this PowerPoint and the publisher, if you can help with something like that, we really can use you. And we have a new member of the board, Kay Drews, stand up. Yes. And unfortunately, one of our board members passed this past Monday, Alan Hamlin. So he was our webmaster for a long time, and he fell ill. So Just think of it, get in touch with me. Remember, next month, the Murakami, don't come here. Go to the Murakami. We're gonna have a good time. Excellent program from Jennifer Cirillo, our Parks and Recreation Director, who's gonna be discussing that. And then afterwards, you'll be able to tour the museum and gardens. And we will have refreshments there. Have a terrific month. And you all have my phone number if you need anything.